The twin sentinels of Belland and Kerr and Bartle Frere signal to Bundy's crew that the end of the sugar rail is now not too far distant. Innisfail is a historic name on the roll call of Queensland's prosperous sugar towns. Summer's coming and already the living is easy. But 120 years ago, the town was in wild pursuit of fortune. 18,000 Chinese across the north were gripped by gold fever, that mad, scrambling riot where miners raced from one rainbow to the next and always got there too late. One who failed on the goldfields was Tom C. Poi, but with his wife Chan Han, he opened a general store in Innisfail in 1882. Their children were raised respectful of their ancestry, but in no doubt where their future allegiance must lie. And their father became a local legend.
In the old days, farmers were all struggling. Everybody was struggling for livelihood. And people still tell me the stories about how my grandfather, if it weren't for him, they'd have starved to death. He used to extend credit which went into years and years sometimes. Herbert was my father, and he was a young man who was served in all parts of the business, including the delivery of the groceries. Now, what they couldn't carry on the horse, they agreed to deliver, which consisted of heavy things like bags of potatoes, bags of corn for the chooks, bags of wheat, and bags of chaff for the horses, and big, heavy stuff. And if it was uphill or a bit too hard to push, they had to use a hoe handle jammed in behind the sleepers and lever the thing along. Things weren't easy in those days.
But Bundy has rather more sophisticated tastes that take her a little further north. Port Douglas is the ultimate resort town with everything but everything. Even a parking valet who doesn't know when to shut his eyes and pretend this isn't happening.
Welcome to Radisson Route on Xavier. There you go, mate. Park it for us. Be great. Thank you.
Mossman, the last touch of civilization before Bundy makes her dash to the finish. And a dash it must be. The skies are lowering over the sugar country. The air is so wet you can feel it on your hand. It's almost cloudburst time, when the rivers will break their banks and turn the cane fields of Queensland into broad, muddy lakes. last bridge, the last cutting, the last curve. And finally, 2,000 kilometres north of that mill yard back at Nambour, where she was first fired up for this odyssey, Bundy steams down the very last straight. And suddenly, in the middle of nowhere, the sugar rail stops and Bundy's dream ends in a steamy sigh of quiet satisfaction. And the cane fields of her younger days, the sweat and hardship, all that wealth, all that history, the immigrants, the towns they built and the lives they led, are left behind. North of here lies the Daintree, unspoiled by the plough or the settler's cottage, the eternal rainforest of far north Queensland, a last landscape of pure wilderness.
Another big one.
Finally made it to the end.
Hey.